Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. So I wanted to give you an update on how it's going as an AMC stockholder. It's Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not able to watch the game. I'm looking at the stocks and it's stuck at 680 something, 690 something like that. And I feel confident that I'm still in the game. I made the decision that I intended to make, and nothing has happened that has completely taken me off guard. Now, was it off-putting and disappointing that it went the way that I thought it would? Yeah. But there's still time left on the clock. As long as you don't sell, you haven't locked in your losses. So they're not technically losses. The possibility of a million things are still on the table because you still hold the shares. So at this point, I hold 204 shares, I think it is. Yeah, spread across 3 platforms. I believe that's what it was. I threw a lot of my money in there, probably more than I should have, much more than I would suggest anyone else do in terms of how much you have and how much you're investing. I've done too much, but I think that I'm doing this for the right reasons. I think that if it were to have a worst case scenario, it still has a chance to give me all my money back, even in its worst case scenario. So with AMC, I feel pretty good. Now, there are some people who are telling me, Facebook people who are saying that stock is going to be dead in the water because they continue to short it. People are not going to want to buy the stock because it's been shorted. But you got to understand, as I do, 2 things. One, this is for a lot of people who are stockholders of this company. This is not about the company. They don't equate this to being about believing in the process of AMC bouncing back. It's not about that. It's about beating the shorts, sticking it to the man, so to speak. They believe, and we believe, because I'm a part of it, that if we hold long enough, we could take our own destiny in our own hands. Eventually they're going to have to cover all we have to do is hold. So I'm standing on that, and I think most people are standing on that who are in this. And what's going to end up happening, in my opinion, is with the price going down, now a lot of us who are people who don't have a whole lot, people who are not well off or even doing well in some cases, it brings the shares down to a position for us to continue to load up and average down, which is why I wondered, for those who are trying to short this stock and who are trying to stave off Wall Street bets, I'm wondering if they've made a mistake in how they're attacking us, so to speak. And what I mean by that is this. It's the same thing that Mark Cuban said. If people ignore the price as it pertains to what they're losing and see that they have an opportunity to get more shares because they're cheap, this can have the complete opposite effect of what they're hoping it would. They're hoping to scare us away. But I think a more effective way to do so would have probably not been to bring the price down dramatically quickly. For it to have fallen 50%, forcefully fallen 50% in a matter of 2 days, tells me that they were scrambling. That signals to me that they believe, never mind what we believe, they believe we're a problem. However that equates to, whether it be a short squeeze coming or just a fact that they don't want this many people passionate about, not letting this stock go out of business, this company go out of business. Whatever the case may be, they are spending a hell of a lot of campaign money and man hours trying to deter people on various forums, trying to infiltrate Reddit to try to get people to sell their shares and try to put different misdirection tactics in motion, whether it be to shame us into selling, or getting us to hear someone's story about how they sold, but at the same time they feel confident they can bounce back because they put their money in this particular stock, pumping a different stock or what have you. There's a lot of different tactics that the people who are against us are using, try to put doubt in our mind. But what they don't understand is a lot of the people who believe in this, people who have been on this Wall Street bets thing since the beginning, the whole idea And the engine behind what this is about telling people, shaming people into selling. So whatever mind tactics that the enemy is using against these people has already been very much defended against beforehand with the Diamond Hands campaign, which basically shames you into thinking that if you sell, you're all negative things. Anything negative you can think of, that's what you are if you sell. So, and they have something called, and I've probably already mentioned this in my previous video, but like the culture is that we laugh at our losses and we celebrate our wins, and we keep hope alive regardless of what the situation looks like. That's what it's about. Immovable will as it pertains to wanting to hold and continue to purchase shares of these particular stocks. So you're not going to just use regular misdirection tactics that you would always use on regular forums trying to get people to sell their shares when you're talking to this particular group, because this particular group is basically gung-ho on helping one another get through the process and the stresses of being down big. That's what it's about. So it's kind of a fail-safe against that sort of thing. And it shows how out of touch those who are paying attention or focused on stopping these people actually are from them, from Wall Street's bets. So at this point, as somebody who's paying attention and who's involved, I have more confidence that I'm doing something that I can live with based on the fact that I have a community of people who are telling me that they're doing the same. And they're encouraging me to do the same. And they're saying we all know what it looks like. We're all in this together, and we're all going to win this thing together. Either we're all going to go down with the ship together, or we're all going to go to the moon together. And that is a dangerous thing to go up against. When people don't care if they win or lose, so long as they stick it to you, that's basically what they're staring down the barrel of. So as somebody who's in this, I'm just looking at it like, well, hey, we're doing all right. Even though we're down big, I'm down a lot, but I still hold the shares. I still got a community of people to the left of me and to the right of me telling me they're going to hold their shares too. People who are down much more than me. People who are in the red for the type of money I'm hoping to receive. You know what I mean? Like, really. And that's the type of encouragement that helped me, I think, with everything else I got going on just in life, like just persevering, continuing to have that immovable will that I will not fold, I will not sell, and I will not accept any price given to me for whatever it is that I hold. My worth and my value and the value of my property is not going to be dictated by anyone other than me and the success of the company itself. So it's like, these shorts and all these little misdirection people, these people who try to instill doubt and all this so they can get these shares off of our hands at a low price, all you're doing is reinforcing our decision to continue to hold by doing this. So it's a new day, man. I hope people realize that you got random people like myself in the stock market here with the culture of holding shares as a means of keeping us having confidence within ourselves. That is, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. When you think about what Wall Street Bets actually is, if you're not out of touch and you understand what it is I'm telling you, you understand it's futile going up against that. That's why I like the word Antaeus. It's a name called Antaeus. It's along the lines of that same concept. And if I ever have a son, I want to have Antaeus in his name somewhere. First name, middle name, I don't care. But I want it in there because Antaeus was a Greek god who gained his strength every time he hit the floor. So anytime he was in a battle, he's a wrestler. Anytime he wrestled and hit the floor, he got stronger. And that metaphor is the same type of thing that we're talking about. We're going down. We're down 50%. Yeah, but we're together. And this perseverance is going to make it so that we can withstand going down 30% in the future. Or we can find ourselves saying we're not going to get too high when the price gives us some green, but not quite the type of green that we'll settle for. Like, it gives us an understanding of what we're worth and what we can deal with together. And it's very valuable for people who need that type of support. So that's what I got to say about that. As far as something else that I've invested in at the same exact time, Wall Street Bets. I'm putting all my money on Wall Street Bets. Whatever they got going on, I'm focused on with that. So they have been pushing Dogecoin, which is a new coin. It's not new, actually. It's been around for about 4 years, but started as a joke, got some traction over the time. For some reason or another, I guess it's because it was considered the penny stocks of Bitcoin, penny stock of Bitcoin. And a lot of what Wall Street Bets is focused on is getting the money divvied out to people who don't have a lot. So the logic in my mind is they've taken Dogecoin, which is an affordable Bitcoin, and pumped a lot of money into it and pumped a lot of advertising energy. I wouldn't say dollars because I don't know if people have been buying spots or not, but advertising energy. People like Gene Simmons, I think it was a porn star of some sort. I can't think of it. Might have been Mia Khalifa. I'm not certain about that. And as well as, of course, King Tesla, who's really been pushing Dogecoin and kind of just giving it the boost that it needs, Elon Musk. So, yeah, I want to thank Elon on here for sure. If he were to ever see this video, peace and love to your family, man. Thank you for putting some money in our pockets. Needless to say, he doesn't have any incentive to help the little guy. He has more money than all of us. He has more money than the big guys, too. So, shout out to him for just being dope. And also a guy by the name of Mark Cuban, who's done a lot of good stuff lately, man. I want to probably just do a video on Mark Cuban alone, just giving an appreciation video to that guy, because, man, I just love seeing people who have a lot kind of looking out for people who don't. You know, people who actually have no incentive to be ethical, but yet just remember how it was when they didn't have a lot and are hopeful that the world can be pretty good going forward. You know what I mean? That it doesn't have to stay bad for everybody, just like it didn't stay bad for them. So shout out to people who like that, and you got my support, man. And I'm one of those people, and I'm not jealous or angry at people who have a lot. I just want to see this type of thing. You know what I mean? You got $190 trillion that you've made most of over the last 2 years. And you're still trying to make sure that I get a couple dollars, or trying to make sure that even if he does have his own interests wrapped up in it, again, this is not about money for a guy like that. If he threw a couple billion in Dogecoin, I mean, fails, wins, it doesn't matter. He doesn't need to do anything but what he wants to do. But he sees this as an opportunity to not only help people like myself who don't have a whole lot, but maybe gain some friends later on down the road who will want to invest in his ventures and remember his support for them. And us, maybe later on down the road when we do have some money, we'll all buy Teslas, and I'm certain I definitely want a Tesla. So it's one of those situations where it's like, man, I'm appreciative of the actions of people like that, and this particular situation is pretty dope for all of us who are invested in Dogecoin. And if I'm not trying to give any financial advice, but what I can say is it's looking pretty good, and it's still very, 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 very affordable at about 8 cents a coin as of today, Super Bowl Sunday, 2021. So we'll see where this goes from here. It could go sky high like Bitcoin. It could turn into nothing because it did start as a joke. But one thing's for sure, it's starting to get some traction. And I believe Pornhub is now accepting Dogecoin. I think a few other places will also start accepting Dogecoin as a means of, allowing you to pay for certain things. And it's super exciting for the world that we're in to see coins start to pop up and be affordable for people. It's not just a $30,000 Bitcoin and maybe $1,000 sub coin of Bitcoin or something. No, we got some new stuff popping up, and it can gain some traction, and it can help some people get some money in their pockets in a pandemic. So I'm all for that, and I definitely wish I would have invested more. I made a huge mistake. Well, it might not be a mistake in the grand scheme of things if this does pop back up, but I sold about $250 worth of Dogecoin to purchase a GameStop share at $250. That does not look like a good investment of any kind. I just wanted to be able to say I had a GameStop share in my midst of AMCs and all that, just to be rah diamond hands. But I knew that was not something that I believed in. I'm not a GameStop person. I don't believe in GameStop. And so it would have been much better for me to keep that money in Dogecoin, which would have been about $500 as of right now, extra in my Dogecoin portfolio or whatever. So Big mistake. If you're following GME, GameStop, that's like it's $66. I don't think that's going to bounce back. If there is a squeeze, I think it'll be in the AMC side of things, not in GameStop. I think that squeeze is come and gone, but I could be wrong. I'm holding the share, just one single share, but boy, did that share cost me far more than it should have, and even more so what it would have made me if I would have just kept it where it was. So these are the type of things we do when we're, not making smart decisions. Do not follow me. That's one example for why you don't follow me on financial advice. I'm simply telling you what I'm up to. More so the journal to keep this information and remind myself sometime down the road when I forget that I've done this or when it does whatever it's going to do. So, I think that's the majority of what I want to say. I just want to encourage you guys to stand up for what you believe in, because that's what this is about for me. I believe in the distribution of wealth to various places where it isn't found. One of the reasons why I believe in that so strongly is because I work in a place where I see people who don't have a whole lot, and we have to kick them out of warm places in the cold nights. We have to kick them out of there. People who have maybe some mental challenges and things of that nature, not getting the care that they need in a place that makes millions and millions of dollars. I mean, that in and of itself has made me feel like this is at least the smallest way I can help that process by holding these shares, hopefully distributing some money into some hands of some people that may need it, and maybe that somehow can trickle down into areas where things like this is taking place. Who knows if such a dream is real, but it is my way of trying. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's more I can do. And if I ever find out what it is, I'll be willing to do it, because this is very important. We have got to overcome the homelessness in this country. We have to overcome, in this world. It's not limited to this country by any stretch of the imagination, but we have to overcome some of these issues where people who don't have a whole lot are just walking aimlessly without care. So I'm hoping that with the distribution of wealth in certain areas, that can be something that is addressed. Hopefully, if the right people get the right amount. Who knows? But I'm hopeful. So, yeah, man, that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. I know there are other opportunities in the stock market that may be a little more lucrative that maybe I'm not paying attention to because I'm gung-ho on this AMC thing, which is why it's so important to do your due diligence, read your charts, watch people know what they're talking about before putting your money anywhere. Thank you guys for watching. My name is BDF44.